Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our RimWorld Warhammer 40k Let's Play. So you may notice that a few people are missing from our top bar, and that is because they're all loaded inside our Chimera. Today we're going to attempt to strike out and collect that power cell that's been, sitting out there waiting for us. So I have Zima, Bragg, Remy, Skinner, and Graith. I'm glad I was able to remember all those. I have those 5 loaded up into the APC. It's the same team we brought on our last adventure. This time, we're, of course, loading them into our new APC to test it out. So they're all ready to go, and we're going to leave first thing and see if this works. It did work when I tested it before, but, you never know with mods and stuff. We have made a little bit of progress with the base, especially on the eastern wing here. Most of these rooms are more or less finished. All of the AC units have been built here, and it looks like most of them were able to reach this conduit, so we'll have a little bit of power here, but this water still needs to get removed. We are currently working on bridge technology, which will allow us to do terraforming. So once we've done terraforming, we should be able to replace that area with solid ground that we can build on. So it's just a matter of time until that's handled. And I think that's pretty much it. We have 200 fuel in the APC with another like 270. We'll probably bring 200, so another entire fuel tank if we need it. I don't think we will, but I've barely tested this, so I don't know the full extent of the fuel capacity. I don't know how much 200 fuel actually is, other than what little I saw of it. Also, we got some people that are sick. They are currently on bed rest for the flu. They should all be fine, but they are going to be here a little while longer, probably another day. So if we got attacked right now, things would be really, really bad. But, I mean, technically they could fight. We'll just need to call them out of bed, and they will not be at full strength. And, yeah, that is pretty much it. So, with that, let's go ahead and try this out. They're all loaded in there, as I said. I believe they show up in the contents. Yeah, so Bragg is driving. Everybody else is a passenger. And so we're going to need to give them food. We're going to need to give them medicine. We'll figure it out when we get there. So let's jump into the world map. And right, we need to form a caravan. Now, the last time I tested this, it got really, really laggy. The game slowed down a ton. So this could be bad. We'll see. But we'll get through it. So we're bringing the APC. We go to items. How long will that get us? 3.8 days? Because if I recall, this is what, a 7-day trip, or at least that's what the game's telling us. Oh, I started on the wrong end. Whoops. Okay, one more time. So we start here, go there. So about 4 days there, and about 3 days back for roughly a week in total. Now that is for default caravan speed. What that is and what the relation to our speed is, I have no idea. I generally assume it's going to be at worst twice that, but I'm hoping that that is assuming on foot, and so the APC should easily be able to outpace that, I hope. Right, so we should probably bring a week's worth of food anyways, just to be safe, maybe a little bit over that. The question then becomes, do we have a week's worth of preserved food? So this was only a few days, right? Just under 4. What about all this pemmican? We don't really need to worry about weight. This APC has pretty massive carry capacity. Ooh, the game is really slowing down. The tooltips are lagging. Yikes. Alright, well, that is 7.5 days of food. If we bring all the pemmican that we've made, I guess we'll just go ahead and do that, because that's what it's there for, and we probably won't use it all, or at least hopefully we won't use it all. So maybe they'll bring some back with them. And oh, it's doing it again. The game's lagging really bad. So I'm going to get the rest of this set up, but it's probably going to take me a while. So, well, it's kind of responding. Let's see. I don't know if it's, oh crap, I might have just added something I did not intend to. Yeah, I just added some camel hair. We don't need that. Yeah, I'm gonna cut here, and this is gonna take some patience, I feel like. All right, so hopefully that is all sorted out and the game is going to cooperate again, we're bringing over 1,000 pemmican, which is like everything we have, minus the survival meals and the simple meals. But that should be almost 8 days worth of food, so it's a little bit more than the game says we need. Hopefully we need even less than that. We're bringing 5 medicine, just a little bit in case things get really rough. I probably won't use it unless somebody gets an infection on the way there back. Well, not there, but, you know, either there after the battle or on the way back from the battle. Otherwise, we won't use the medicine, just, you know, to save it for emergencies. We're bringing 200 chem fuel as well to ensure that we have an extra full tank of gas should we need it. And so with that, let's go back to here. And the game does appear to be responding again, so that's good. This will sort itself out. It should drive around and collect everything. And that is pretty much all we needed to do. So there it goes. Oh, that's the chandelier. Where are you headed? Okay, it's got the chem fuel. Now it's going... Okay, it says that's 2 days, 11 hours worth of fuel. Hopefully it's more than that. It's grabbing up all the pemmican now. It's funny to watch the thing go, because it moves really awkwardly. And it fits through spaces it shouldn't be able to fit through. This is more or less the same size as the default, by the way. I was very careful in scaling it to the same size as what the original... could you call these sprites? They're sort of sprites. But anyways, whatever the original texture was, this is almost identical in size. It's just a teeny bit wider. But I'm talking like a couple pixels width, not anything significant. So there's our bridge research done. It's going to automatically take on or start up the next queued thing. By the way, who is the one that needed a foot? It was you, if I'm not mistaken. You're the one that almost got killed in your foot transplant. While she's laying here in bed, maybe, you know what, that might be a bad idea. We could treat her right, or we could do the foot thing right now since she's already in bed. This might be a bad idea, but I'm going to do it. It's going to minimize her bed rest time, because she's going to need to be in bed anyways for this flu, so she may as well be recovering for a bionic foot installation as well. But this could be very, very bad, because her consciousness is already weakened, although it's 93%. That's not significant. And she is in pain from, well, not only this, but from the flu as well, so the anesthesia will actually help with that. I think we're going to do it. So that was her left foot? Yeah. We're going to install bionic foot on the left foot. And we do, of course, need to give her full medical for that. And can you handle that? No. Cannot operate, need material. Did I forbid the foot? I did forbid the foot. Okay. Go ahead and do it then. And that'll take place while our away team is handling their business. They're headed out. That field didn't last very long, did it? I'm a bit worried about that now. I guess we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We have a full extra tank, so hopefully it lasts a little bit longer out on the road. Alright, so he's bringing the medicine. By the way, people will keep telling me to overhaul this thing. It will happen. I'm just not doing it yet, because we need to see what we need in here still. Obviously, the floors still need to be fully replaced. I'm aware of this, and I did talk about the plan in earlier episodes, so if you're worried about the medical center, go back and watch the earlier episodes before you worry too much, because it will get dealt with. We're just not there yet. Just not there yet. We'll have storage in here. We'll have all sorts of stuff. We're going to have... I don't think we actually need the refrigerators for the medicine. They can just go on shelves, but we will have shelves in here. And I will probably have a separate storage for bionic limbs and stuff, because those are getting produced in a different area. So I'll probably end up storing them over here. And it's not like we're doing installations so often that, you know, it's a big deal that people have to go back and forth, because it happens like once in a blue moon. But the medicine should be nearby. That I agree with, and it will be. It's just not there yet. So caravan is ready. You guys are headed here. And that's going to take 2.9 days. So it's actually a full day quicker than the game said. We'll see how long the fuel lasts, though. if they run out of gas on the trip there, then we'll have them refuel and head back. Because I'm not going to tell them to go further and then return if obviously a full tank didn't last them the journey there. That might be a bit of a problem though. Fuel efficiency might hamper this thing's effectiveness, and we may have to rely more on pods than I would like. Pods are great. I mean, they're the fastest way to get to a destination. The problem is, of course, getting back. Getting back is very difficult. You can bring the resources with you to make pods there, but that gets incredibly expensive. They're not cheap components-wise, and having to build them every place you go is less than ideal. Liara, you're cooking, right? You're making pemmican? Okay. Was that set higher in priority? No, why aren't you making simple meals? Do we just not have enough rice available? Yeah, we don't have enough rice available. Well, pemmican's edible, so that's fine. We have a couple simple meals for now, and she can... Oh. Why is the dog starving? Why aren't you being... why aren't you eating? I'm pretty sure they can access the refrigerators. Let's see, Haley. What are you set to? Animal area. Oh, so you can not access that. And of course we're out of kibble. No, we have kibble. What the hell? What is this dog's deal? We still have kibble and they're not eating it. Can she not get to the kibble? That's marble. You've eaten somewhat recently. Are you just trapped? I don't know how you would be trapped. You can walk out that way. You could go all the way around. There's food available, so I don't know what I can do here. I will hunt this thing, though. Any other animals? Not over here, anyway. But yeah, there's not a lot I can do because there is food available, and she can access the area where it's being stored. There's plenty of kibble here. So maybe she's just been wandering in a different area of the map and hasn't made it over there yet. If she collapses from starvation or something, we can rescue her and feed her. But yeah, there's a husky eating kibble right there, so it definitely works. And they're all on the same grouping. They're all animal area 2, excuse me. They're actually less restricted than the other animals are, because they're allowed to wander the base and stuff. The other animals are only allowed outside. That could be a problem though, because she was... I thought it said she was pregnant. Yeah, middle stage. So she might lose the puppy if she doesn't eat, but I can't force her to eat. Let's check back in on this. They're actually making a pretty good time. Does it say fuel-wise? Let's see. Needs, health. What would that be under? Items? No. Social, gear. Ah, there we go. Fuel. 94%. It's actually doing pretty well. Uh-oh. The local camel went mad. That's concerning. Just hunt the damn thing. Who's still here that can do that? By the way, Virya, did you get your new foot yet? Oh, she did and we missed it. Consciousness is very poor, so we better not mess around. Although it would have been 10% no matter what, so it's not like these are compounded or anything. Let's see. Immunity's still doing fine there, but it apparently went off without a hitch this time. Last time it was like she got attacked by a buzzsaw or something. But she's doing alright now, and she should be pretty pleased when she wakes up because she is a prosthephile, and now she finally has her prosthetic foot. How are you guys doing on health, by the way? Okay, so immunity's winning out there, and there as well. I've been giving them herbal medicine, which definitely helps. And it appears to be working. So, who are my hunters again? We don't do a lot of hunting, so I don't generally recall who's actually doing it. Zarena. Alright, well, what are you up to right now, Zarena? Cleaning sand. Can I get you to go hunt this camel before it becomes an issue? And you probably shouldn't be set to flee. She also doesn't have a melee weapon, though, so if she gets caught up in melee, she's going to have to just beat the thing to death with the back of her rifle. But that should be fine. Actually, speaking of melee weapons, there's a lot of misconceptions regarding the orc cleavers or the orc choppas or whatever. They're no different than any other 40k melee weapon. So, for example, the move, well, not the move speed, where is it? The melee bulk, there it is. Every 40k weapon is 200 plus. So they're all set to really high bulk. Now, granted, a vanilla weapon is going to be significantly less than that, but every 40k weapon for melee that I've seen so far is over 200. Actually, there's a chainsword lying around here. And yeah, 220. So any 40k melee weapon we give them is going to be bulky. The orc weapons are no worse than the chainswords. However, if you look at the DPS, something like this is 16.69. That's the Eldar sword. The chainsword is 10.61. And I think we can actually check if we do this. Maybe it'll show it from here. No, I have to actually click it. So we'll do just the basic steel choppa. 14.49, and the adamantium one was 20.2. So they do a lot of damage, and it's very important to note that this is damage per second. It's not damage per hit. So whether it's doing a bunch of damage very, very slowly or doing a lot of damage very quickly, the DPS is, not really accounting for that. It's just telling you how much damage divided by time. So we don't know, necessarily which one's faster, although based on the stats, I would say they're all more or less the same. But that adamantium choppa hits harder than any other melee weapon we have. Whether it, again, be a lot of damage over short periods of time, or excuse me, a lot of damage over a long period of time, or a little bit of damage over very, very short periods. Apparently this cow is going to go mess with that Browning machine gun, or the heavy stubber as we call it. And are they ever going to dig up these floors? This is like free limestone. I don't know why they are so reluctant to come grab this. Probably because we have enough. Well, actually most of this is steel, isn't it? Yeah, there's actually very little limestone here. But there's also not that many construction projects queued up right now. But there are still some. This is almost done though. I'm very glad about that. And in fact, I should go through and get some floor. Oh, I did not mean to click on that, but you apparently got in a fist fight, didn't you? The thing hit you in the neck? And it kicked you in the neck? Ouch. I'm sure she'll be fine. So she'll bring that in, and that'll be that. So not only did we deal with a dangerous animal, but we actually got some food out of it. And some crafting materials too, although we have camel hair, we have plenty of it. How are we doing over here? They're a little over halfway. That's good. And again, we look to be doing just fine on fuel. So it almost seems like the APC is more fuel efficient on the world map than on the I don't know what to call this, like the scene map or whatever. But it's definitely burning fuel a lot more slowly. So that's good. It doesn't even look like we'll need a second tank to make our way back, which is fantastic. May not even need the second half of the first tank. Oh, our hops are finally done. Great. That is fantastic. How are these guys doing? 20%? It's not bad. They just started. But these are just about done. That's pretty good. What about our Devil Strand? Oh, this is almost done too. We're going to have a ton of Devil Strand. I do intend to make... Or actually, did we already do that? We've been experimenting with the various Commissar cloak materials. And I don't recall doing a Devil Strand one. Oh, we did do one. Okay. And that's right. It was worse than the ostrich leather. Which, again, makes 0 sense. Given the way that clothing works in the game, but fine. When I have time, I'll go in and recode that. But I'm just too busy at the moment. Speaking of which, I am recording this the evening before my first set of finals. So, I just want to warn you guys, I'm doing my best to front load my recordings, but if you don't get videos for maybe like a day or two this week, just know that I'm busy taking exams, and that's why you didn't get a video. Not that, anything else is going on. Is somebody going to fix her neck? Halleck, man, you are terrible about that. I need to work on his priorities. Make sure she doesn't get medicine. She doesn't need it for a bruise. It's a bad bruise, but it doesn't need medicine. So, are you set to... Yeah, you're set to 1. Let's put you to 2 there, and doctoring should be 1. Okay. What are you up to now? Why are you sowing that area? Let's see. Growing. There we go. We need to drop that to 3. Yeah, I don't need you doing that, man. Feeding sick people is a-okay, but you don't need to be doing any more planting. We have people for that now. And they're almost there. Wow, they're making great time. I'm digging this APC. It's been... I feel like it's been only about a day. It's still saying... Oh, well, I mean, we're about to get into rough terrain, so I shouldn't jump to any conclusions yet, but they've definitely made great time so far. Yeah, it's still saying they have about 2 days through this, these are like low mountains, right? Let's see. Yeah, mountainous. Not as bad as this here, but still pretty bad. So, that might take them a while. I guess we'll see. Alright guys, so I'm just noticing we completely forgot to build the actual brewery, which is how we turn the hops into wort that then get fermented into the beer. So I gotta figure out where I want to put this. It gets done by a cook. It requires cooking skill. So, I mean, I could throw it in here. It's not ideal because somebody will have to come down here and work on it, but I suppose it's better than not having it at all. So let's just throw it in there for now. Hopefully someone will make that, and I'd rather Liara not do it. I think Yaris, who I believe still needs a name, by the way. I'll have to check for names, but yeah, he can cook, so maybe he'll do it. Or if Liara does it, then maybe he can, you know, keep cooking actual food for us. Speaking of which, we are running very low on simple meals, so I'm going to change this. And I think we're going to have to start eating that Eldar flesh, unless we get a bunch of rice harvested right now, which I think we started harvesting rice. This stuff is all like more or less done, so maybe we don't need to do it. Yeah, I'll just be patient because we're not that far off. But it, you know, it'll get pretty tight in next like day or so. Alright, so I finally got this dog to eat. I had to actually set up a stockpile zone where it was sleeping and drop a little bit of kibble in there. I don't know why she wouldn't eat or go get the kibble herself, but she was apparently happy to eat it once it was brought to her. But she did miscarry, so the puppy she was going to have is gone. Unfortunately, that malnutrition is going to linger for a little while. But her food is doing a lot better, so it should go away. But I don't know why that's happening. All the other dogs are doing fine, and as I said, or as I showed you guys, they're all restricted to the same area, so for whatever reason, she just will not go out there to actually eat it. Alright, so our rice harvest is in, and our food shortage should be a thing in the past. Liara's already cranked out quite a few simple meals for people to eat. And I believe, yeah, Azran just finished our brewery. So all we need to do is basically make wort forever. And we'll just say do forever, drop on floor. Doesn't matter who does it. But yeah, any hops we get should get turned into wort relatively quickly, or at least, you know, hopefully that's the case. And then they will get taken across this room. So it actually sort of works out that they're in the same area more or less, but the wort will get made here, and then it'll get dumped into these, which will then get turned into beer. Temperature is 21. As long as we're within 7 to 32, we'll be fine. This area is actually ideal for that because it tends to stay in that range pretty consistently. Whereas the sort of the larger base area is actually a little bit more variable on temperature just because it's so big. And you can see right now it's actually 33 degrees, which would be not ideal. So that's good. It actually worked out that we had it all in that area. Completely unintentionally. So this is getting harvested now that the rice is all done. Although Liara needs to stay cooking. Okay, she still is. Nobody actually hauled anything. Nobody actually planted anything either. Well, crap. I wish they had slightly different priorities because this is more important. It is our food supply after all, and so replanting this right away would be the ideal thing to do. The hops, while useful, are not as, critical as food is. We actually didn't seem to get very much of it either. Nearly, well, I was going to say nearly 3, but two and a half full hydroponics rooms, and it doesn't seem like we got a whole lot of rice out of it, because there's really nothing in here. None of it actually got transferred there, so it's all sitting here still, and there's really not a lot. Surprisingly little, actually. So this room is probably going to be entirely dedicated to food as well. I wonder how much of that is the skill of the people harvesting. I may have to take certain people off of it just to ensure that we get the maximum yields of food, because I do believe that plays a part. Although plant cutting doesn't really have, it doesn't have an associated skill, but I would assume that the growing skill does have a role to play. Let's get that down to like 4. That'll be 4 for Clinton. Kind of okay with your growing and plant cutting set to 1. Well, no, we'll set it to like 3 or something. I don't mind you helping. I'll set it to 4 as well, because you're still not very good. Plant cutting, we'll say 3. I could just do it like that. 3. Garvel, you're actually not terrible at it. We'll say 3 on that one as well. Zorena, do you have any skills? No. Azrin, maybe that's why we got such a low yield, because some of these people are just plain awful at it. I'm just going to take them off of it completely. And let's see, Azrin, I'll drop that to 4. Citra, that's like your main job, so we'll keep that at 2 and 2. Actually, I don't mind. Yeah, you know what, that's fine. No, we'll put plant cutting at 1. That way if anything's ready to harvest, she'll get on it immediately. Halleck, I really don't need you prioritizing that over other things, but if you want to help out occasionally, that's okay. Yaris, we should drop that down. I'll put it at 4. And Mirage, that is something that you could help out with, but is not your main task. Her main task should be probably mining, which apparently she doesn't do a lot of. She's doing more building. That makes sense. So we'll drop this down to like 4 as well. And where is there's Murgo. Yeah, her growing is set to 1. Her plant cutting should be a bit higher than that. We'll say 1 and 1. No, we'll say 1 and 2, because I'd rather her plant than harvest. But ideally she'll be doing both. I'd just rather she plant what she harvests first before moving on to the next thing. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, obviously our priorities there were a little messed up. That was because I was having a hard time getting them to harvest. I think that was in the last episode actually, but it's been a while for me. So it may or may not have been the case, but I believe we were having an issue getting them to actually start working on that, so I had to basically make it everybody's top priority to get them started on it, and I forgot to change it back. That's going to be a wall there, although there is steel there, so let's not do that quite yet. How are we doing here, by the way? Man, it's really slow going, but they're making their way through the mountains there. We got 13 days left on the power cell, so there's really no rush, except for, of course, food and fuel. But we should have enough of those. And this is nearly done being harvested. I imagine these will be done within the next day or so, so that's going to be our next big harvest. But this still all needs to get planted, so I hope they jump on that first. Oh, they dumped all the rice out here. Why did they do that? That's really odd. No food should be out here. At least not in this stockpile. And don't allow rotten either. Yeah, kibble should be there. And then any raw food should be in here. And why is that not happening? Like it's set to go in here. And this is a higher priority. So it should have all made its way to here. That's why we had such a small harvest. Because a lot of it was... Well, no, that's... None of it's there now. So it all got transferred here. Huh, I don't know. Maybe some of it was already here and some of it just arrived, but it shouldn't have been there anyways. I don't know why it got there. Maybe the dogs are taking it to the wrong spot or something. But clearly, the way it was set up, it should always favor this area. And there is plenty of space here. You know what it could have been? I know why. Certain people are not allowed into this area. And so they may have hauled it to the only stockpile available to them, which was this one. And unfortunately, now, you know, it needs to get hauled that way. It's possible that it was the dogs, because the dogs aren't allowed in the freezer so that they don't eat all of our raw food. It is actually fairly likely that's the case. What else? Another thing I've been looking into is I want to get an item repair bench down so that we can start repairing these. Hopefully it removes the dead man's tag. I'm not going to get that mod that lets you cheat and just take it away. That is, as I said, cheating. At least that's how I feel. So I'm not going to do that. But if we can do it through repairing it, and we get it back up to 100%, and that might remove the tag. Even if it doesn't, it's fine, because I'm going to use those as our prisoner uniforms. I know that they're blue, not like orange, which is more traditional, but they're at least uniform. We have a ton of them. And so we're basically just going to have a shirt and a pair of pants in every one of these rooms. And when we get a prisoner, we'll strip them, we'll throw them in those, and that'll be their uniform until they get recruited or they die. Or set free in some rare instances. You know, we might want to build diplomatic relations with a faction or something, and in that case, it would be worth cutting somebody loose, especially if they're not particularly valuable to us. But that is going to be on a case-by-case basis. Azrin's making us some more chem fuel. We actually have nearly another full gas tank there. Getting close. Murgo, what are you currently working on? You know what? Here, let's do that. And she should go sow. Perfect. Yeah, she'll sow this first. Once all of the rice is replanted, I'll open that back up. But we don't need a ton of hops. We already have probably more than we'll need for a while. And this is more, you know, just a nice little side effort on our part. You're hauling the wort over there. How long does wort keep? Oh, I can check this one. Spoils and forwarded. So it actually doesn't last particularly long. But why not just put it directly in there? Is what I'm wondering. Could you fill that? There you go. Attaboy. What are you building with wood? Oh, you're refilling the... Or you're making more chem fuel. Okay. Right. Yeah, once we hit another 200... Well, what's it set to? 250, okay. So when she hits 250, she'll stop. But I don't want her to use all of our wood. I know that there's other sources other than wood, but I'm not about to turn valuable food into chem fuel. The wood is far less valuable to me. I just don't want them to use it all. But I'm not about to waste food on that. I'm aware that boomalopes and boom rats can give you chem fuel, but we don't have those. So I'm not sure how that helps. Alright, well, let's see here. Terraforming. Alright, dig up water. Your colonists will prepare terrain to later terraform it to water tiles. So that's if we want water somewhere. We want... What, foundation base? We need foundation material. Build a foundation base to quickly put up a bridge or build a platform. Can only be placed on shallow water or mud. That doesn't help because then we need foundation material. So how do we get that? I imagine we cut it like stone? I don't know. That's added by this mod. I haven't really played with it. Foundation material. Or we make 10 at a time. 300 raw resources and 100 steel. Let's see. What can I use as raw resources? I don't love the idea of using like stone or steel for that, although we do have a ton of steel. How would the stone blocks fit into that? I don't know. I'm starting to think this was a bad idea. Maybe we should have gone about it the other way. I don't think we have that researched yet, though. No, unfortunately we don't. Alright, in that case, where are we at now? We would need the moisture pump. Let's just get that out of the way. And then we should probably do... There's a lot of stuff we should probably research. Deep drilling would be nice, although having the quarry makes it less critical than it would be otherwise. Passive coolers aren't a terrible idea either. Let's actually make sure we get that. Wood is a bit scarce, especially with us turning a lot of it into chem fuel, but in case of power outages, those are a good thing to be able to make. Just not a very great long-term solution. Brain surgery is something we should also consider. But yeah, I think we'll do that, then deep drilling. Then we should probably do the ground scanner, because one without the other is kind of useless. Alright. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way with the moisture pump. I think that'll be easier than spending an exorbitant amount of resources on making foundation blocks. And hopefully somebody will come over here and... Nobody's been mining for a while. Clinton? Oh, because you've been sick. Hopefully somebody's been feeding you. You should not be doing that. Especially when she's on 98%. There we go. Saved it. And in fact, you guys don't need any medicine either. Yeah. Even if we didn't tend to you again, you would gain your immunity with plenty of time to spare. So that's why no mining's been getting done. Clinton is our resident miner, and he has been MIA for a while. In fact, you're well enough now where I think I can just tell you guys to go have fun. Do what you gotta do. Oh, cooler broke down. Somebody should get on that. I'm not even going to bother looking into it, because more than likely one of our builders will head over there and take care of it. How are we doing here again? They're starting to move into the second mountain tile. It is pretty slow going up here, though. And let's see. We're about 2/3 fuel. We are definitely spending more in this area, especially considering how long it's taking us to get through here. But it's only another day and a half until they arrive, so I think we'll be alright. We've been out for... It's got to have been at least a day and a half to this point, so I feel like they've already made it most of the travel time there. It's hard to say, but I feel like they've been gone for about 2 days, so that tank I would think will last them all of the journey there and maybe a little bit of the journey back, but we probably will need the second tank at this point, given how long it's taking us to get through those mountains. I wish there was a shorter way through, but no matter which way we go, there's at least 2 of them. And it could have been a lot worse than that. These damn mountains. I think next time we have to deal with mountains, we are going to use pods, even though we have the APC. And we'll use the APC for more direct routes, like if we go attack... oh, it's a Tau fire base. We haven't dealt with the Tau yet. But if we attack any of these areas that don't have mountains in the way, or in some cases have, road access, we will definitely take the APC. But I think, again, mountains, going to want to drop pod in. Although that makes the return trip even more rough, but it still cuts the journey there out completely. And so at least that's a little bit less food and time spent. Whereas in the APC, yeah, it is faster, but you have to go through the mountains there and back. Alright guys, well, I think I'm going to end it here. I was hoping we would arrive there today, but, unfortunately, it just didn't quite work out that way. So, hopefully next episode they arrive and we can handle our business there. And we'll try to get them back as soon as we can. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.